Okay. Kate Floss. So just wait and see if someone comes on. Um, so I've got this live going. What's been happening is Kate Floss. I called the under the 1688. There's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of people talking about the 1688 Bill of Rights, 1689 from Scotland. Well, what we figured out is that there's a core, a like a foundational law, like it is the stone of Scotland. Um, there's a core law that can't be changed, and then all other laws emanate from that. And that 1688 Bill of Rights that was over in England there, when they brought in the Prince and Princess of Orange, the 1688 Bill of Rights was it can never ever be changed, not even one word, because it's got a non abrogate law which forbids anyone to change it. Even a king can't change it, even the parliament can't change it. But what they could do is they made, so that's called the Will of Mary. But then from that, they were able to make another law which put into legislation. That's the 1689 Bill of Rights of Scotland. And then in New Zealand, they had a 1688 Bill of Rights. Well, theirs was done through Scotland as well. And then what happens is, that once it's been made into legislation, they're then able to alter the new legislation. But they've got this thing from 1883, probably previous to that, which is called the Bills of Exchange Act. And under the Bills of Exchange Act, if nobody protests the legislation or the bill, if nobody protests the bill that emanates out of the original law, LORE, the written LORE, if nobody protests that, then the new bill can be accepted. But if at any time anyone protests the new bill, which makes changes to the core statute, well then it's the original statute that trumps over the legislation. Now, the 1689 Bill of Rights that was done in Scotland, they went and changed it and allowed Catholics into Parliament. And you're going to be seeing, some ladies just said that the crown over in Australia, they've cut the top piece of a monument off, and they've removed the correct coronation crown, and then they've put in the Catholic crown that apparently, I've only just seen this, apparently points downward. So I'll see if I can post this up for some people to come in and watch. I think I can share it. Oh. So, that just goes. Right, I'll see if I can send this to some people to see if we can get some viewers in here. But anyway, Yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, I'll go to my groups there and see if I can put a few up there. I'll go to the Ngāti Wikitoria. See if I can put it up there. Oh, that's not good. All right. Okay, I'll just get started. See if I can get some people in here. Right, whoever's come in, say hi if you can. Oh, I'm trying to get some people in to let you know what I'm doing in the courts. So I'll just let you know in a minute. I'm just trying to paste up a few here. Now I'm going to be writing this letter live. So I'm so busy, and I've been. All right, there's one up there. I'm so busy, and I'm not able to make the videos as much as what I'd like to do for you anymore. So what I'm going to be posting up for you is that I'm going to be writing this letter to JC McGrath. Now, so I'll try and now I've lost my train of thought because I was going to be doing it all for you, and hold on. So I have had notice from the court just get this little bit here. Sorry, I hate to be boring you. I just wanted to get this little bit here that I just posted it here. Right, so what had happened is that everybody knew that I went into the court, and I called Jacinda Ardern into the court, and then they struck me out because they said, well, you're not a lawyer, and basically they said, well, we're a corporation. Since we're a corporation, you need to be a lawyer to call us into the court. Well, as you all know, and then basically I was saying to them, were they upholding the oath? Are they protecting our Bill of Rights, 1688? And are they governing us according to the way that they're supposed to govern us? Now, if you go and look at that 1688, it's got many, many rules about how they're supposed to be governing us. They're not supposed to be charging us astronomical amounts of taxes. They're not supposed to be that comes all these fines and traffic fines and things like that you're getting, that all comes under excessive fines. And that is in the 1688 Bill of Rights. Taking your money, taking all your tax money that you work for to pay for services in your country, for your people that are born to that country, taking that money and sending it off to Ukraine or sending it off to other countries to support all these other countries, that comes under a levying of money where they're taking your money and they're approving it for things that are supposed to be for you. And then they take that money and they give it to another group or a specific group that you are not involved with, and you are not entitled to any of the privileges of that money. That comes under the levying of money that they shouldn't be doing with your money. Your money, when you pay your tax money, that money is to be used for you, and you, every single one of you, should be entitled to a piece of whatever they're spending that money on. And if you're not entitled to a piece of that, then they're not allowed to spend their money on it. And so anyway, there's many, many things, but the thing that I mostly wanted to call, I wanted to prove that you could call the Prime Minister or any minister. You could go directly to the court. You don't need to go through the police. You go directly to the court and you serve them. See, they don't serve us. They serve us if we have committed a crime. But when they've committed a crime or they've not been governing the way that they're supposed to, we serve them. And that's exactly what I did. I served them, and they said to me, and then the Crown and the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, they all said to me, no, you don't get to serve us because you're not a lawyer and you're unintelligible. You're too much of a village idiot to be allowed to come in here. But I said, wow, I disagree. The reason why I can call you in, because I am the village idiot and I'm protected under my Almighty God under the 1688, because yes, I am a village idiot and I don't understand all of your laws, but I understand my inherent right. That's what I understand. And it's only a couple of pages long. It's a very short document, but you would be surprised the diamonds and gems and gold that you're going to find in that document. So I went to the appeals court. The appeals court sent Jacinda Ardern, Chris Barfoy, Andrew Little, sent them a notice to say, you will come to the court. And then, as you know, they charged me a whole bunch of fees. And then, now this is over in Scotland and Ireland and England and Australia as well. You can all do the exact same thing that I've done. Now, after that happened, the appeals court charged me fees, and I appealed those fees at the registrar. And then the registrar turned me down and said, you have to pay the fees. So under the right to petition that says all commitments and prosecutions for petitioning the king are illegal, which means you should be able to petition the king and petition for a declaration of right, and you shouldn't have to pay for it because we already pay them as public servants. The courts are paid by us. The parliament is paid by us. Everything's paid by us. So therefore, we should be able to use that one contract for free. And so the registrar said no, so I appealed that to Judge Brown. So the registrar was J.C. McGrath, appealed that to Judge Brown. I lost the appeal. Then I took the appeal to the Supreme Court of Judge Brown, and then the Supreme Court said, yes, you can come in, but you have to pay $1,100. So then I appealed that registrar to the Supreme Court, and I lost that case. In the meantime, wingle back down, the case of Jacinda Ardern, which was sitting in the appeals court waiting for me because they had been ordered to come in and they had agreed to come in, that case there got put under abandonment because I hadn't paid the $1,100. So I appealed the abandonment, and I lost the appeal. By Justice Goddard came in and said, Justice Goddard said, if you pay the $1,100 at Supreme Court to fight Judge Brown, unless you have done that, J.C. McGrath your case was no longer a living case. Your case became a dead case. It died. So they call these cases living cases. So when you ascend into the court, you become alive. You become a live person. The judge dies for you. That's why when you enter the court, you kind of die when you enter. Immediately that you enter the court, you die, right? And then when they say to you, all rise for the judge. You become a living person, and the judge sits with his black robe and he dies for you. And when you're using constitutional law, not in the lower courts, get your head out of the lower courts. Get your head out of the administrative courts. All those United Nations laws, all those 1990 Bills of Rights, all your legislation, no matter what it is, it's all done in the administrative court. It's not done in the heavenly realm. I call it the heavenly realm. And I'll just put the light on. If you want to go into the heavenly realm, oh, I've got the wrong there. There, will that be a bit better? Then you'll be able to see me a bit better. All right, there you go. So if you're going directly, if you go and serve them, when the police come and serve you, if you've done something wrong, right, and the police come and serve you, they immediately take you into the administrative court. You don't go into the heavenly realm. But when you call in the Prime Minister or any ministers and you do the serving yourself, when you serve them, you go straight into the High Court, straight in there, and you're automatically in the heavenly realm. Now, when you enter, your case is dead. And then when they accept your case, that case becomes a live case. When you enter your court, all rise for the judge. You rise up to the heavenly realm and you get under the 1688 will and Mary. You get to talk directly to the Almighty about the things that are concerning you down on the earthly realm. And the judge sits there and he's dead there. He's got his black robe on. He dies for you and he sits there, and then he acts as the go-between between the ministers that you've called in and your earthly idiot status. He decides if you've got a case or not. They usually will throw you out, but if they, I don't know why, I seem to be talking the way that they want to talk to, because they don't throw me out. They keep me in there. So Judge Goddard said to me, your case has been abandoned because if you did not pay the $1,100 for against Judge Brown, they said, wow, your case died. And they said you have to revive it, right? So since then, I paid the $1,100, and I've had a letter from the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court have said, they call me Catherine, and it's under Supreme Court case number 49 is what we are. Case number 49, 2023 in the Supreme Court. And it's on Monday, the 15th of May. Catherine Ann Sextus filed an application for leave to appeal against the judgment of the Court of Appeal. And then this letter went to, they got served again. So I served, the applicant got a copy, that's me. I'm the one that's calling all of them to the court. See, you got to turn your heads around, people. You call them, you serve them. You don't let them call you, and you don't let them serve you. You serve them. So one lot goes to the applicant. The next service papers that I have served and the Supreme Court has served together with me, because they're with me, is the respondents, which is Jacinda Ardern, Chris Farfoy, Ashley Bloomfield, and Andrew Little. So I've called those four ministers to the court. And why did I call them to court? I've called them to court to ask them if they're upholding the oath, and if they're protecting our oath of office, and if they're promoting our oath of office, or if they've jumped waka. In New Zealand, we say jump waka. If they've jumped ship into this 1990 Bill of Rights from the United Nations, which is an ordinary law, which they seem to be promoting that. and not promoting our 1688. But our 1688 has a specific order to them that they are to promote and preserve our ancient laws. And so I've called them in to ask them if they've been doing that in good faith to all of the people. Now, the next person that it was served to is the Court of Appeal Registrar, which is J.C. McGrath. And then after that, it was sent to the Court of Appeal Judge Brown, who was who I appealed to against J.C. McGrath. So a copy was sent to him, and then a copy was sent to the High Court Registrar of my original case, and a copy was sent to the High Court Judge Cook J of my original case. And I have had the best judges in the land looking at my case. I'm not winning, but I'm not losing. So that's a win in itself, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm so busy now. So that letter has arrived from the Supreme Court, and then I have to, so I'll put that down here. What I'm going to be doing is writing this letter to directly to J.C. McGrath. I'm not able to share screen. I have to get 1,000 viewers before I'm able to share screen. So, so when I've got my 1,000 viewers, I'm going to be able to do that. Now I'm going to, what is that? That is the acknowledging the receipt, and that is setting out the protocol. So what I'm going to do is go to the judgment of Goddard J. And then as I'm doing this for you, I'm going to be reading it to you, what Goddard J said. And then I'm also going to be writing a letter to J.C. McGrath to let her know that I've paid the $1,100, that the Supreme Court has accepted my case. We're going to the Supreme Court. We're going to Almighty God. We're going to the heavenly realm, and we're going to call the Parliament to account for the tyrannical way that they've been ruling over us, and for the absolute blatant disregard of our ancient rights and our ancient Protestant laws under Almighty God. So I'll be playing some music for you while I'm doing that. There's nobody in here, so anyway, you can watch and do it. So the first part that I have to write to J.C. McGrath is I have to let J.C. McGrath know that I'm going to be writing this letter. So I'll just put some music on while I think about how I'm going to start this letter to J.C. McGrath. I don't know if you can hear it. So now I'm going to go to Justice Goddard's case. So I'm just going to explain to JC McGrath that the case had been abandoned, and then Justice Goddard had said, let's see what Justice Goddard said. Meanwhile, so here's what Justice Goddard said. Under 43 of the Court of Appeal rules, Ms. Sextus was required to file the case on appeal and apply for a hearing date within 3 months of filing the appeal, failing which the appeal would be deemed to be abandoned. Rule 43 provides that date to be extended in certain circumstances. In particular, it can be extended by the registrar for periods of up to 1 month under Rule 43. In certain prescribed circumstances, Ms. Sextus advised the registrar that she would be appealing this court's decision on the fee waiver to the Supreme Court. In light of that advice, the deputy registrar extended the date prescribed by 43 of the rules on a number of occasions. On the 3rd of October, it was extended to Monday, 31st of October, then extended all the way to the 24th of February. Meanwhile, Ms. Sextus had applied to the Supreme Court for leave to appeal from this court's decision, and she sought a waiver of the filing fee for the application for the leave to appeal. That application was declined by the deputy registrar of the Supreme Court, and Ms. Sextus applied for the review of the deputy registrar's decision. And then I was given the case of Alan France, right? So I should put Alan France's case first, shouldn't I? Right, where's Alan France? Here's Alan France. So Alan France at the Supreme Court had said, right, what will I write about Alan France? The applicant has applied under Alan France. The applicant has applied for leave to appeal from a decision of the Court of Appeal dismissing the application for a fee waiver. The notice of application for leave also refers to other decisions, including the decision of Cook J striking out the applicant's statement of claim. On the 11th of November, the deputy registrar of this court declined the applicant's application for 2 reasons. And then don't worry about those reasons, but what was the good thing about Justice Allen was Justice Allen said the application for review of the deputy registrar's decision in this court canvasses a range of matters to support the proposition that the proposed appeal raises matters of genuine public interest, and she says a consistent theme of the submissions is that it is the right to petition the king under the Bill of Rights 1688 Imperium, which provides a right to petition without being subjected to fees and costs when petitioning the High Court on questions of law. Ultimately, the issue, and then she had said that even though you used the 1688 in the first court, it wasn't considered in the second court, and so therefore they couldn't take it into account. But that's a whole nother argument. At the end of her ruling, the application for review was dismissed, but she said if the applicant wishes to have the application for leave to appeal accepted, the applicant must first pay the filing fee. So her case was delivered on the 1st of February, and Goddard's case was delivered on the 19th of April. So so just write that on there. for that. So on the first, listen to some music while I get. So in Alan Francis's case, that was at the Supreme Court. Just try and let you know, Alan Francis at the Supreme Court said that they would not accept my case if I didn't pay the fee waiver. But at the end result of Alan Francis ruling, the end result was that if I paid the filing fee, that the Supreme Court would accept my case into the Supreme Court. And she's given me some very helpful arguments that I can use in the Supreme Court against Judge Brown. So all these judges have left me some little crumbs of law that I can use to help me along my way. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but they've certainly what would take me 3 pages. These judges are just absolute geniuses. They're very, very clever, and I don't think they're not there to hurt you. They're not there to. They're there to, keep you within the boundaries of where you need to be. And if you go out of those boundaries, then they're there to show you, and they should. Most of them should, and a lot of them do, and some of them don't. But the good ones will show you exactly where you've gone wrong. And that is what happened with Justice Alan France. Alan France said, this is where you've gone wrong. This is where your argument needs to be. Judge Brown said the same. This is where you've gone wrong. This is where your argument needs to be. So they do put those little tidbits in those rulings. And so you might not win in your first time round in court, but you'll certainly, the judges are there to be learned from. They really are. And if you go in there with an open mind, and you're ready and you're willing to listen to what the judges have got to say to you, they will pull you back into the place where you need to be, and they will explain to you what you need to do. Or if there's nothing that you can do, and they'll explain it all to you. And I found that to be the case. So they're very, very clever. And so Justice France explained to me and said that you can go back to the court, right? And then and explained to me what I needed to fight. So that was Justice France. And then now we're on to Goddard. The appeal was abandoned, and then it went over to Goddard. And then hold on, appeal abandoned, and then the judgment of Alan France made it clear that if the application for leave to appeal was to be accepted for filing, the filing fee must be paid. That was reiterated by the Registrar of the Supreme Court. This is where I had gone wrong. Ms. Sixtus acknowledges that the filing fee has not been paid, and this is what Judge Goddard said. So there is no live application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court. And he said, since there was no live application, then the J.C. McGrath was not able to do anything other than abandon my appeal. So I'm just going to write that now. So Justice Goddard said, Mr. Sixtus acknowledges that the filing fee has not been paid, so there's no live application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court, is what Justice Goddard said. So then after that, that's Ellen Frant's son. So we've got a who's who of judges here. That's Judge Goddard, and then Goddard said, result, um, so there was no live case. So now, since then, I paid at the Supreme Court. Let's say, with my Supreme Court fee paid. Hang on, I'll find that. All right. When did I pay the a minute. Right. So now I have to find out when I paid the received the Justice Goddard. Hang on. Tended to file of the 12th of May. All right, I did. When did I file it? All right, so then I did that. Then I paid it. So I've got to find where I paid it. Ministry of Justice. Receipt. Oh, right, that was paid on the 15th of May. So I'll tell JC McGrath on the 15th of May. On the 15th of May, the $1,100 was paid. On the 15th of May, $1,100 was paid through the Supreme Court. And then paid to the Supreme Court, and then we accepted. So I paid it on the 15th, and right, and was accepted. I just said that to you guys, didn't I? Right, and was accepted into the Supreme Court as a live on one. see 49 branch to 23. My second slab into the line space. I'm no longer a slave of fear. I am a child of God. We are. We are children of God, and nobody should be allowed to push us around like this. And I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for you. And, you know, it is really a David and Goliath. But the end, then, really good. Child of God. Well, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I've got someone popping in and out. So what I'm just doing now is writing my court document to JC McGrath, and wait till you hear all the judges that have been involved with my case from the outset. It's just a who's who of judges, all the toppest judges in the land have come to my Kate Floss court hearing, and nobody's kicking me out. I quite frankly am baffled, but I just keep talking to that 1688. The more that I keep talking to the king, the right to petition the king, the 1688 Will and Mary, the more that I keep talking to it, and it's like they just, I don't know, but they don't seem to want to kick me out. But I don't really quite know what they want me to do, what they want me to say. I'm not quite getting it all right, but I'm not quite getting it all wrong either. I'm not getting it wrong enough for them to throw me out, but I'm not getting it right enough to get that declaration of the 1688 Bill of Rights. I've asked for a declaration that we have the right to petition the king and that all fees and commitments for doing so are illegal. That means we should be allowed to call the parliamentarians to the court, go directly to God, do not go to jail, do not pass the police station, go directly to the Supreme Court, call the parliamentarians into the court, serve notice on the parliamentarians, and order them in for questions about laws that they're making that are repugnant to the oath of their office. They're not following the oath. There's nothing wrong with the oath. The oath is fine. The 1688 is fine. It's a very, very protective document, but they're not following it. They're not upholding it. They're not promoting it and preserving it. That's what they're not doing. And that's why everything's gone all wibbly wobbly, because they're not doing that. And we're responsible because we have not been calling them into the court. This 1688 Bill of Rights, Lord only knows when was the last time it was used in England, but it hasn't been used in New Zealand since 1976. 50 years ago was the last time that a subject or a person who in their natural common law called the Prime Minister of New Zealand into the court using the 1688 Will and Mary. He called Prime Minister Muldoon in, he won his case, and then the 1688 has gone, it's been shoved under the carpet since then for 50 years. It's been hidden. Nobody's spoken a word of it. Nobody's told us that it's there. They brought up this 1990 Bill of Rights, which is an ordinary law. And as you can see, the 1990 Bill of Rights and any United Nations laws or any United Nations rights, it all involves the taxpayers paying money to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of refugees that have come into our country. They've been given a house, they've been given a job, they've been given an education, and somebody said to them, oh, you look like you dress funny, and they've run off to the court and they've said that person insulted me, and we go to prison for speaking against them or insulting them. And not only that, we have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars of our tax money to support all of these people, and they can go to the court for free. And yet when we want to go to the court to get our rights upheld, we are forbidden from going to the court. And so that's why I've been going to, or they said, yes, you can come to the court, but you have to pay. So all the judges have been in. You might get a bit bored. I don't know if you can hear my music, but I'm playing music in between. I'm writing this letter to J.C. McGrath to save my original appeal that called Jacinda Ardern in and others. Andrew Little, specifically Andrew Little now, because he's the only one left in Parliament. All the other three of them have done a runner. Jacinda Ardern's done a runner, Chris Farfoy's done a runner, and Ashley Bloomfield's done a runner. They've all done a runner. We're only left with Andrew Little. But I've said to the court, hey, they all did a runner in the middle of their term. So I said, they agreed to a term of office for 3 years. So if they've done a runner midstream through my court case, that's not my problem. They're still got to come back to the court, right? So I've called them back into the court. And so as long as I get them into the court before their term of office is finished. But Andrew Little, he's still in office. So he'll definitely be coming to my court case. So this is all about Kate Floss. The judges are so nice. They're always asking me, what do you want to do? Who do you want to serve? What do you want to tell them? See, when they call you to the court, they tell you what time you will come. They tell you what you will have to bring to the court. They tell you what you will have to be the punishment, whatever. But when we serve them, they ask us, what time do I want them to come? What is the schedule that I want to have? Do I want to have 3 judges or 5 judges? I get to choose all of those things. And I'm driving the plane. So my plane might crash, but I'm driving it. And when they call you to the court, they're driving the plane. So I've been driving this plane the whole time. So I'm trying to save this abandoned appeal. If anyone can hear me, if you can hear my music, put up a sign. But I've got to get typing. When I get done with the letter, I'll read it out to you. But so far we've written a little bit here that's to J.C. McGrath, who's in the appeals court. On the 24th of February, the case of Sextus versus Ardern was deemed abandoned because I had not paid the Supreme Court fees. Alan France in the Supreme Court, the Supreme. So remember when I went to the Supreme Court, they wanted to hit me with another fees, and I appealed that. That went to the Supreme Court, and she left me a few crumbs for fighting within the appeals court. So I'm going to grab on to Alan France. Alan France on the 1st of February gave a ruling in regard to an application for a fee waiver in the Supreme Court, and that application was declined. So she said, no, you have to pay the fee. However, France J did give a result that the Supreme Court application to review the Brown J decision, you've got to keep up with my cases, people, from the appeals court, Justice France and her husband just recently passed away. Justice France in the Supreme Court, who I appealed the registrar for fees in the Supreme Court, and then poor old Justice Alan France, her husband passed away. I think it was the day after her ruling of my case. Her husband passed away, and he and her met at law school. And I'm telling you something, these judges, you want to go and look at their ancestry. They are a who's who. They date back hundreds and hundreds of years in lineage of lawyers, public prosecutors, judges, and they know all the history, all the way back to Germany, all the way back to England, all the way back to Scotland and Ireland and Australia and Canada. They know all of our history. And that's why they're interested in my case, because I'm speaking to them about all of this history. And I'm saying, you've all forgotten our ancient laws. And so that's why they're speaking to me, because they know that I'm speaking to the things that they know about, that they have in-depth knowledge. Now, Justice France's husband said that they met at law school from a whole family of lawyers. And he said, wherever she goes, I go. And he said that she was and she was. And she gave me some crumbs that I can use in my court case. So she said, your case will be accepted for filing if you pay so I said that Alan France had said that my case would be accepted for filing if I paid the filing fee. In the meantime, my case so I'm writing to J.C. McGrath, and I'm explaining to her why they have to rebirth, I must use that word actually, why they have to rebirth my case in the appeals courts, because I'm explaining to her that I've paid the fees and all the judges said, if you pay the fees, you can come to the court. So in the meantime, my case in the appeals court was deemed abandoned, and I had appealed that decision, and Goddard J articulated where I had failed within the system. Mayor Six and Goddard J stated, Mayor Sixtus acknowledges that the filing fee in Supreme has not been paid. So Goddard, or God, said to me, so there is no live application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court. So I thought that Goddard J was a she, but apparently Goddard J is a he. And the Goddards come from a whole line of lawyers. They're prosecutors, they're Supreme Court judges, they're over in England, they're over in Canada, they're in New Zealand, they're in Australia, they're all over the place, over in South Africa, over in Hong Kong. And I'll tell you, there's a story to be told about all these judges too, and a nice story. And anyway, so they're all in the heavenly realm going on the battle, and Kate Floss is in the heavenly realm in the battle with them, and it's just fantastic what's going on. So then I said on the 15th of May, the $1,100 was paid to the Supreme Court, and I was accepted into the Supreme Court as a live case number Supreme Court, case number 49. And then copies were sent to the Appeals Court Registrar, the Appeals Court Judge, the High Court Registrar, and the High Court Judge, which is Cook J. Cook, who is actually called Francis J. Francis J. is the son of Robin Cook, or called Lord Thornton. Lord Thornton was the only Supreme Court judge ever accepted into the House of Lords over in England. And him and Geoffrey Palmer were instrumental in having us in New Zealand removing our right to appeal to the Privy Council in 2003. And they gave us the 1990 Dogs Law of the Devil. That's what they gave to us. So that was all done through them. Now, so Cook J is the son of him, and Palmer, Geoffrey Palmer, well, here's the interesting thing. Geoffrey Palmer, the son of Geoffrey Palmer, was the first judge that turned up in the High Court to meet with silly old, unintelligible little old Kate Floss, right? Matthew Palmer turns up, and then 2 weeks later, Matthew Palmer goes out, and Francis Cook turns up, and he's the one that struck me out. Well, Matthew Palmer is the son of Geoffrey Palmer, right? And Geoffrey Palmer wrote the 1990 Bill of Rights to put in place of our 1688 Will and Mary. And Francis Cook is the son of Lord Thornton Cook, or Robin Cook, or the grandson. I can't remember if it's son or grandson, but there are a long list of lawyers anyway. And he turns up in my court case. Well, it was Geoffrey Palmer and Lord Cook that worked together to A, remove us from the Privy Council, and B, to hand us this 1990 piece of doo-doo, for want of a better word. I'll use that word, doo-doo. That's what they use in the cartoons. So then I get up, and then I've got Brown J, who comes from a long line of judges. J.C. McGrath comes from a long line of judges, and John McGrath, who I think, but not sure, but surely they're related, but John McGrath worked together with, I think, Goddard J on some certain cases that are relevant to my case. So I've got the whole family, all the families are coming in to see me and want to know what Kate Floss is talking about. And I don't really know where this is going to go, but it's just it's probably one of the most interesting cases in the history of England, Scotland, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia. Not because of me and my unintelligibility, because I recognize that I'm functioning within my idiot status. I don't deny that. But what makes it so amazing is the names of the judges that have come to visit with me to find out what I'm talking about. And that has just got to be amazing. So now let's see, I've got to get back to my writing my things. So I'll have to go back to the music. Let me know if you can hear my music. I can't see any even of the chats, but if you can see any of the chats, all messages are visible. I'll put there hello. If you can hear my music when I'm playing my music, let me know. So JC McGrath has informed me by my request for information. JC McGrath informed me that if I paid the 400 fees for an interlocutory application, see, you've got to learn all this stuff. Interlocutory application for an extension of time in respect of the R43 before the, so JC McGrath said if I paid $400 before the 24th of May, then an extension of time may possibly be granted by the appeals case, and I will change that. And the and the Court of Appeals 306 could be rebirth. That's good that I've got someone there looking at me and listening to me, because as I speak, I realize what I need. So it could be rebirth to be a live case. A live case. Oh, it's Maxine. Can you hear my music, Maxine? Have a listen. You can't hear it? Not at all. Can you hear it now? What about now? Oh, that's a waste of time then, isn't it? Never mind. Never mind. I won't play it then. Oh, well, that's a waste of time. All right. So I'm writing to JC. So the change. So I said, so then an extension of time may possibly be granted by the appeals court, and the original appeals court could be rebirthed to be a live case. So, and then I've put, I don't know what I was going to put, the change. I have paid, so that's JC McGrath. Right, I've got in Goddard's. I've got, all right, I've got them. I have paid the $400 filing fee, and then so I'll ask the question, Do I need to make further submissions of, what's the word? Do I need to make further submissions, not of arguments, but of pleading? Should I say pleading? Of pleading, of further submissions, not arguments, that's not the word. Do I have paid, can I use, but is it, what's the pleading? What does pleading mean? What does pleading mean? Pleading. Okay. The act of making an emotional or earnest appeal, a formal statement of the cause of an action. Oh, yeah. Pleading, very good work. So I've paid the $400 filing fee. Do I need to make further submissions of pleading? Do I need to make further submissions of pleading in support of my application of the application to rebut the appeal in the case of Jacinda, put all their names, Ardern of Sixtus, Glorius, and I'll put all their names, Jacinda, Ardern, Chris, Parfoy, Ashley Bloomfield, and Andrew Little. I'll put in brackets there, respondents. I have paid the point. Do I need, hang on, can't even hear my music. Do I need to make further submissions of pleading in support of the application to rebut the appeal in the case of Sixtus versus Ardern, Chris Farfoy, Ashley Bloomfield, and Andrew Little? And how do you spell counsel? Is it C-I-L or S-E-L? Do you know? Maxie? S-E-L? I paid that. So do I need to make further submissions of pleading in support of the application to rebut the appeal in the case of Sixtus versus Ardern, Chris Farfoy, okay, C-O-U-N-S-E-L. Can't spell. That's why I need my friend Maxine to help me for spelling. Chris and Andrew, respondents, and counsel Peter Dunn. Right. Now I'm trying to put all the names in here. I'm just going to put in all the names here. So this is going to be quite one. Oh, now I'll have to put in that that receipt. All right, I'll pop that in. It just goes in there. And then we upload it, do we? download, upload. No. No. We attach. Right, that's attached. And I'll put in the other receipt as well. Oh, hang on. That's the wrong one. Right. Can't even spell receipt. Right, I've got that one. And then where's the other one? That'll be, hang on, Maxine, I'm almost done. Suppose you've got to go to work. Hang on. Oh, I had it before. Oh, no. No, I suppose I don't need to. I've already put no, I don't need that. I think I can just send that later. All right. Oh, no, because I want that, don't I? No. There should be a, right, hang on, sorry. I've got to find this because that's important that I have it. That's the Cabinet Office. Peter Greenhow. Oh, that's the Courts of Justice. Ah, there it is. So I can download that. And I'll put that on there. And change the name. Right, and I'll put that in. All right, so I've got that in. Yeah, and then I forgot to put, in the meantime, and was accepted into the Supreme Court. Right, that is done as well. So that is come from, so I should be able to download that, shouldn't I? All right, I don't think I need to put that in. Right, so I've paid $400. So do I need to make further submissions of pleading in support of the application to rebirth the case, the appeals case. I don't think I better put all those names, because I was going to put all the names, but I better not push my luck. So I'll just put a question mark after Jacinda Ardern. Is that right, Maxine? See if you're writing. No, I'm good. All right, good. Thank you. Right, so pay the fine. So do I need to make further submissions? So that should be about all that I have to write, really. 24th. The appeals court would be if I paid the fine, but in the meantime, my case was deemed abandoned and I'd appealed that decision on the 15th of May. That this 1,000 was paid. JC McGrath has informed me if I paid the $400 fee, then it may possibly be granted and could be rebirthed to be a live case. I have paid the $400 fee, so do I need to make further submissions of pleading in support of the application to rebirth the appeals? I have to put that letter in. Okay, because it's given the time. Frame. All right, I have to put that in. Not there. Shit, where did I put that? All right, there. So I will have to download all. Oh, it goes to a folder. Oh, you can't open it. Hang on. Hang on. Got to find out how to send the letter. Right, save to OneDrive. Flag, report, print, download. Hang on, let me just try and, I want to send this. Oh no, that is not right. All right, I'll just send the. I don't know how to send that. All right, I'll just put that. Pick out that. All right. There, so I've put in the evidence. Right. I'll just put in here. I'll put in, I always say never give up. Never give up. Never give in. Never surrender. Save New Zealand. And then I'll put in fly the flag of New Zealand. Long live the King. Ardern and Sixtus. Below is the expected time frame of the Supreme Court. Sixtus versus Brown J. Sixtus versus Brown J. So that should be it there, Maxine. Download it, then upload it and attach. I don't know how to do the letter, but anyway, I've just copied and pasted it. And I've just copied it and pasted it. I didn't put in all the stuff, but that's okay. It's got the time frame of the Supreme Court. So I've put that all in there, and I'll send this off to JC McGrath. I've got until the 24th. So that means if it doesn't work out, they'll let me know tomorrow. So this will get there. That should all go. That's gone to Peter Greenhow, Peter Gunn, Forbes Lewis, JC McGrath. Anybody else? I don't know that. Oh, well, I'll just let it go to Peter Greenhow, JC McGrath. I better send it. I've got it to Forbes Lewis, Peter Gunn. Right, that's everybody there. JC, no, and if there is JC McGrath, yeah, right. Yeah. She'll let me know. So, so I'm ready to send it. Make sure it's me time. Yeah. Long live the King. Right, I'm going to send it. It's on its way. Oh, no, I've got to also send it to the appeals court. Yeah, you're supposed to send it to the Court of Appeal. And the Supreme Court. So, right, I've sent it to the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court, Forbes Lewis, Peter Gunn, Peter Greenhow, JC McGrath. God, it's a real who's who, Maxine, on my case. We've got Alan France, we've got Goddard, but I wasn't sure which Goddard. I'm still not quite sure which Goddard it is. And then we've got, oh, wow, all the judges. It's such a who's who. All the judges. Wow. Be famous. Right, I'm going to send it on its way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's right. Gone. It's done. Yeah, I'm sweating. right? So hopefully that will all why didn't it come up as sent? Oh yeah. Right, that's all in. Right, that's going off. That's going off. Couldn't play the music. Right, there you go. I've done everything now. Maxine. So I'm gonna sign off. And then these are just all the things. That's Kate Floss. These are all the things that you've got to do. If you want to fight for your country, you've got to work really hard, and you've got to what you've got to do. If I was to give any advice to all you people out there, you've got to stop listening to these common law people who are telling you for 20 years not to go to the court, and everything that you're doing just falls on deaf ears. If you're upset about having to pay licenses and registrations and taxes and rates and fees and all of these things, if you're upset, you've got to enter the court. You've got a duty to enter the court and protest it using your 1688 will and Mary, and protest all of the excessive fees and the excessive fines and the excessive taxes. And the way that you do that is through your 1688 will and Mary. And that's what the king's there for, so that you can petition him and say, hey, Parliament's gone rogue. They're charging us hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes and fees and licensing fees and all of this, and we can't take it anymore. The back is broken. We're buckling under the pressure. We can't feed our families. We can't pay our rents. We can't even warm our houses anymore. We cannot keep paying these exorbitant rates of like $4,000 or $5,000 a year in rates. These taxes where you're taxing more than a third, almost a half of the salary is being taxed, so you can take our money that we're paying and send it to other countries. Why the heck are you sending all our taxes to other countries? Those countries have got resources. Africa is one of the richest countries in the entire world. It's got gold, it's got diamonds, it's got silver, it's got cobalt. Anything and everything that you want is in Africa. And yet we, in our little country of New Zealand and Australia and England, we have to pick up all their people that have got AIDS, all their people that have got cancers, diabetes, all of their people that they don't want, all of their rapists, all of their murderers. They let them out of the prison and they put them on a plane and they send them all to New Zealand. Do you know why they gave homosexuals the death penalty in their countries? Because they knew that the minute that they put a death penalty on any crime, all those people get scooped up by the United Nations and sent to countries that don't have the death penalty. Australia, New Zealand, England, all those people get sent. This is a sneaky, sneaky act that they're doing to pressure us to pick up all of their rejects of society when they've got billions of dollars, billions and trillions of resources. And you know what? They plead poverty. It is bullshit. Bullshit. And your government, what's Maxine saying? And your government is taking billions of dollars of your taxes and giving it to people from other countries, and they're telling all those other countries, You don't have to be responsible for those people, because we will be responsible. And that's why you're paying all these taxes and all of these. Now, Maxine says, absolutely, Kate. I haven't looked at the budget that Grant Robertson put out the other day, but I heard that it's out the gate. They're just handing money out. They're borrowing. Where I heard that we're 120 billion or more in debt. New Zealand was never in debt. We are billions and billions of dollars in debt, and your taxes are going to go up and up and up and up. Your rates are going to go up and up and up. Never mind that they're going to give you a $50, they'll give you a $50 pay rise. And then they'll give you maybe 1 month or 2 months to do a little dance and enjoy your $50 pay rise. Then you know what they're going to do? Then they're going to give you a $100 tax rise, or they're going to give you rates increases. The rates in New Zealand have increased from 4% to 7% when they brought in all of these extra council members all to be paid by you. They don't care because you're paying for it. So the only way around that is to get your 1688 Bill of Rights. I can't do it for you. I'm already in the court fighting for the 1688 in its own right. That's what I'm fighting for, that we get to keep it. And if we do, no, they don't care. And if we do get to keep it, then it's going to be up to you, all you common law people, to get your finger out your ass and get out of your Facebook talk shows and get yourself into those courts, get a case in the court, learn the system, learn the judges, learn how to file a case, learn how to see a case from the High Court through to Appeals Court, through to Supreme Court, learn how to do all of that in a practice case. And once you've learned how to do all that, get your group together and go and fight. I'm telling you, the power is in the courts. Your stupid letters, your hundreds of thousands of letters that you have written for their affidavits. You see, the Peter Gunn at the Crown Law, he said to me, he said, we will write you an affidavit right now. We will write you an affidavit and we will tell you that 1688, that Bill of Rights 1688 is a law of New Zealand. He said, I said, I don't want your affidavit. I don't want your affidavit. I said, I want them to tell me that in a court of law. Because when they tell me that in a court of law, it's up there for all to see, and you can no longer continue to deny, to ignore our ancient laws. So these affidavits that you're getting are only worth the piece of paper that they're written on, as long as that person who signed it is still in office. When he leaves office, that affidavit, you might as well go and wipe your ass with it in the toilet. So what you've got to do is, when you enter the court and you say, is this one of my rights? Can I have a declaration to declare that this 1688 Will and Mary is in fact my current law that I can use today? If the court will give you that declaration, or if the court will tell you that your fees and fines and taxes and licenses are excessive and you can no longer cope, when the court makes that ruling, it can never, ever be changed by any parliamentarian that comes into the office. Because when they change the parliamentarian, every 3 years when they change the parliamentarians, every affidavit that you have, every letter from Parliament that you've had, every bill that you have beaten and opposed, that you have won, the whole lot goes in the bin, and you all got to start again on the same freaking thing. So Parliament only writes bills. It's not where you need to be. You need to be in the courts. And you might not get a winning ruling, but you'll get something. And at least they'll know that you're in the court. And at least they'll know that you're watching them. And the courts are watching them. And the judges are watching them. And the media are watching them, because it's out there for all to see. Bring it all into the light. Stop working in darkness. Stop working in your silly little Telegram groups where you've got it closed off for 5 or 6 people. You work in the darkness. Come into the light with me. Work within the light, and everyone, the light will shine brightly. When the light is shining brightly for everyone to see, other eons will come and attach to your light. And the light will get brighter and brighter and brighter, because you brought it into the court, out of your dark rooms, and brought it into the light of day. And before you know it, you'll have a glorious bright light of power, of the greatest power that you're ever going to know is going to be shining through each and every one of you when you enter the court and bring your grievances out of the darkness of the parliament rooms, who are all working in darkness, all working behind closed doors. And that's what they do with their affidavits. It's all done in darkness. When you bring it all out of the darkness and you bring it all into the light, our light is going to be shining bright like a diamond. It's going to be glaring so brightly that parliament, they're not even going to be able to see, because the light is going to be burning their eyes, because it's going to be so bright. So that's what I'm talking about in the heavenly realm. Right, I'm going to sign out now, Maxine. See you later. And your stream will stop and you will no longer be live. End.